In this post, we build a serverless e-commerce app using AWS Lambda, Stripe and React, ensuring your website is ready for such traffic peaks. The accompanying code repository can be found on https://github.com/patrickmitchelberger/serverless-shop. Architecture. The bulletproof, low-cost solution is based on a serverless architecture. Serverless is a hot topic today. A nice introduction by Martin Fowler can be found here. There are basically two types of definitions. First, it can be used to describe applications that significantly or fully depend on third-party services in the cloud. These types of services can be described as backend as a service, BaaS. We use Stripe as a BaaS provider for both inventory and order management and payments. Second, it can also contain some amount of server-side logic, but unlike traditional architectures, the code is run as plain functions in stateless compute containers that are event-triggered. We use AWS Lambda as a functions as a service, FaaS, provider to communicate securely with Stripe servers and provide a basic shop API for a web-based shop frontend. The proposed architecture consists of 4 components. Inventory and order management. Stripe allows to add and receive product and inventory data, product information, sizes, colors, etc., right from its dashboard or products API. https://stripe.com/docs/API #products. Shop API. To communicate with the Stripe API, a secure server environment is still needed. Therefore, we use AWS Lambda to execute server functions in the cloud and expose a public shop API for products and inventory data. AWS Lambda is extremely cheap and we pay only for the time our code runs, and not for hours we rented servers for. Payments. Processing credit cards manually is difficult and dangerous. We use Stripe Checkout as an embeddable payment plugin. Customers can pay instantly, without exposing sensible credit card information to our code. https://stripe.com/checkout. Shop frontend. Instead of building the site on demand on the server, we entirely host our shop as a static site on a content delivery network, CDN. CDNs offer improved scalability and fast load times by distributing assets globally. The current proof of concept site is built with Facebook's React library. 3. Implementation. Let's start building. First, we set up the product inventory. Second, we build a shop API to make our product inventory publicly available. Third, we build the shop frontend to showcase our product inventory. Fourth, we include a payment method. Lastly, we send an order from our site to Stripe. Set up the product inventory and order management. Sign up for a Stripe account on https://stripe.com too. Click on Create Your First Product in the dashboard's Products section and fill in some product details, ID, name, description, images. 3. Add SKUs, stock keeping units, to the created product. Each product can be linked to one or many variants taking into account any combination of attributes, such as color, sizes, and cost. Note, a customer buys a variant of a product, for example specific color and size combination, not the product. After this setup, Stripe exposes those products, variants via its products API. Build the shop frontend. We use Facebook's Create React App template to set up an initial site with no build configuration. Yarn install G Create React App. Create React App Serverless Shop. CD Serverless Shop. Yarn start. The example site consists of a basic single product page with product details, a delivery address form, add to basket button and a payment form. The code can be found on GitHub. Please note, this is only a proof of concept site. More components such as multiple products, categories, etc., can easily be added in the future. Build the shop API. To communicate with the Stripe API, a secure server environment is still needed. The secret key can be found in the API section of the Stripe dashboard. We use AWS Lambda to execute server functions in the cloud and expose a public shop API for products and inventory data. To simplify the FOS setup, we use the serverless framework. Set up the serverless environment. 2. Respond with the fetched products from Stripe. 3. Deploy to AWS. The shop frontend should fetch the products from this endpoint. 4. Insert the displayed endpoint URL as products URL in config.json file. Set up the payment methods. Finally, we use Stripe Checkout as an embeddable payment plugin. 1. Insert the Stripe Checkout JavaScript library. 2. Initialize Stripe Checkout in the component didMount method in the Pay button component. 3. Insert the Stripe API's publishable key as API key in config.json. 3. Insert the Stripe API's publishable key as API key in config.json. After filling out the payment form, Stripe checks the credit card information and returns a token on success. We use the token to create and pay an order for a selected product variant. Extend the shop API with an order endpoint. 1. Create a serverless checkout function. 2. Create an order and pay for it with the received payment token. 3. Deploy to AWS. The shop frontend should post the order to this endpoint. 4. Insert endpoint URL as checkout URL in config.json file. Run the app and make a test order. Finally, the whole site should be working. You can either run the app locally or in production. Visit the running site. Choose a size, fill in the delivery form, insert a test credit card and click on the Pay button. After that, you should get a success notification and the recent order should be displayed in the Products, Greater Than Orders section of the Stripe dashboard. Congratulations, you have finished all required steps to build a serverless e-commerce app. I hope you enjoyed the project. GitHub repository, https://github.com/Patrick Mitchellberger/serverless shop. Demo site, http://patrick.mitchellberger.info/serverless shop/. If you run into issues getting the application working, feel free to DM me.